Mats and I are not alone once again. A legend of the game, Ivan Lendl, is with us. Ivan, it's been a week now. Have you been enjoying the tennis?
Yes, I have. It's a quite interesting tournament where everybody thought it will be Rafa and Roger or Novak, and things have changed quite a bit.
You never know what happens. Now, 35 years ago, in 1984, I believe, you played semifinals on this day. Do you have any memories on that? What are those specific memories?
Well, obviously making the finals, you remember that, and the semifinals match was quite interesting.
There you are.
Yeah, I used to know that guy. But it was an interesting match where Patrick had a match point, and I thought the match was over. And I was kind of jogging it out, and he didn't hit the volley well enough, and I was able to lob him, which was very, very lucky.
You lobbed him on match point?
With a forehand, but with a backhand grip, because I wasn't prepared for the shot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do people, when you wander around here, do people still bring up that match? Do they remember it?
People remember it because that Saturday there were two men's semis sandwiching the women's finals, and every match went 5 sets. The men's I beat Pat 5 sets, then John beat Jimmy Connors 7-6 in the 5th, and Martina and Chrissy played a long finals in between that. I think the matches finished around 11 at night.
And then you play finals the following day.
And got killed.
Yeah, and got killed.
Unfortunately.
Do you have any recollection of that match as well?
I do actually, yes, because I've talked to Pat Cash quite a bit about that match.
Right.
I don't think he's quite over it yet. I think he thought that Ivan was lucky with a lob.
I agree.
Were you?
I
yes,
agree.
You were.
Yes.
But really, that was Pat Cash in those days were so good. He was so strong, and he was young.
He was
only 19 years old.
Wasn't he?
Was he only 19?
He was only 19. He's a year younger than me. I lost to Ivan in, I believe, the quarters in 1984. But obviously, 1984 was dominated by a certain Mr. John McEnroe. Only lost 2 matches in the whole year, I believe.
Yeah, he had
one of them
a
to
great
you at the
season.
French Open.
Yeah, and I think another one to Vijay Amritraj at Cincinnati.
Right.
But he had a good year.
Ivan, we have a question from one of your fans. Alex Correccia is right outside. Alex, let's hear the question.
Yes.
Who are you with?
How are you guys? Well, I'm so sad I wasn't there at 84. But I found someone that maybe, yeah, nearly. But I found someone that was there.
Ivan, I
remember that guy.
You were very lucky that Cash served an ace to give a second match point, and it was a bad line call. Is that true? It's the luckiest match that you've ever had?
I don't know if there was a bad call, but I will agree with you. I was lucky to win that match. But W is a W, Patrick, lucky or not?
It's better to be lucky than good, right?
Kashi, I think you should make your way up to the studio.
Alex.
Join us.
Alex, where did you find him?
Well, I was trying to hit some balls, and I found him there hitting on P15.
Okay.
All right. While Kashi is making his way to the studio, we have a look what awaits us in the men's semifinals and who is involved today.
Now there ain't nothing to it. Go ahead and bring a live thorn. Ain't no giant, I ain't gonna fire on.
Oh, Daniil Medvedev is a Grand Slam semi-finalist. It'll be a third major semi-final in the career of Grigor Dimitrov. It's job done for Matteo Berrettini, the most incredible conclusion.
And this is what we're in for today. We have a full house here today in the studio. Kashi is here with us as well. Does that still hurt, that match point that you've had there in 84? Sorry, I'm just stabbing in wounds there.
I think I was pretty lucky. I played one of the matches of my life, and he had a couple of fantastic shots. And that's what great tennis is all about. It's a point here and a point there, and this time he got that, and we've won some, we've lost some that way.
The margins are so thin, even thinner today than any other time, and I always got from people, well, you know, 1 bad call, 2 bad calls, it's no big deal, it's only 2 points. Well, that's the difference today. 1 or 2 points is the difference, and the timing of it.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the semifinals coming. It's really awkward that we don't have Novak Djokovic or Roger Federer involved. Doesn't happen very often. You think they're just a little bit worn out still from Wimbledon, from that Wimbledon finals, not to see them in the semifinals here?
Well, I mean, clearly Novak was not 100% starting the tournament. I'm not sure if that loss to Daniil Medvedev in Cincinnati might have, but you could maybe now question after Wimbledon, what did he do? Why didn't he play more than 1 tournament? And so on and so on. And Roger Federer, age caught up to him, it seems to me. These hard courts is tough on your back, it's tough on your body. Clay courts, we're always saying, oh, clay court is so hard. No, it isn't. Clay court is like the easiest surface to play on. I don't know why they're so afraid of it. Hard court, this is the biggest problem for Roger Federer last year and this year.
You know, Mats, I was thinking about that. We talked about that the other day. Father age is undefeated. Roger is giving him great run for his money. However, there will come a time when he can't anymore.
Yep.
Is it now or not? We don't know. But what I find interesting is I believe that mentally and physically, both players, Novak and Roger, paid here for Wimbledon finals. The Wimbledon finals match was amazing match in terms of historical significance. Roger goes to 21, Novak stays at 15. 6 is much bigger number than 4. Physically, it was a long match. And both players had some injuries over here, whether it was later or not, maybe they were not fully recovered. I was thinking about that. I have crossed it 1 other time in my coaching career when Andy Murray played Stan Wawrinka in 2017 French in the semis. And both players flared up after that. That's when Andy's hip really flared up, and he really hasn't been the same since. And now with the surgery, he's starting to play. And Stan was out for almost a year with knee. And that happened in that match. So what happens in these matches is that the players push so hard, physically and mentally, they have nothing left, and they're a little more vulnerable to other injuries.
Pat, if you look at the players involved in the semifinals, Rafa goes in as a heavy favorite. If you look at some of his numbers, he's been at this stage at the Grand Slam tournament so many times, and here is the numbers. I know you didn't bring your glasses. I hope you can see it. So 26-6 here for Rafa Nadal in this spot when he's at the semifinal. Grigor Dimitrov 0-2, Daniil Medvedev no experience, Matteo Berrettini also no experience, so he goes in as a heavy favorite.
Yeah, look, heavy favourite. There's no doubts about it, but not just because of his history and his record, but he's actually playing fantastic tennis. I mean, he's serving really big, hitting the ball really hard, very aggressively. He's changed his certainly in the last couple of matches, changed his stance on the second serve return. You know, I always say, look, really the only player that he can't beat, and his tactics of standing back is Federer. I just don't think he'll beat Roger if they're playing well in that position way back there. Everybody else I think he'll beat, and he's got everybody else there to beat. So, look, he's heavy favourite, but he's playing great. He's serving well. He's moving well. And he's extremely pumped up. I mean, talk about a guy who really. And you look at the numbers. If he wins, he moves. He gets to 19. Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, where did that sneak up? We were looking at Novak all of it, and we're thinking, okay, Rafa will get the French, okay, but you know, will he get another Grand Slam? Well, it certainly will. By the looks of it, and
certainly catching up, isn't he?
I mean, I haven't really thought about the guys counting numbers until only the last few years. I mean, do they? For me, I was like, if I can win a Grand Slam, I'm happy.
He's still 2 matches away, though. Let's not get ahead of himself.
No, he's not. But
Matteo Berrettini, he's finding his form at the right time, Mats, because so far here at the US Open, he's never won a match. That was also his first matches he won, actually, on hard court since February as well. It just seems like it clicked everything at the right time for him here.
I think I like him because he is a player that likes playing 3 out of 5 sets. I'm sure that he's going to feel a little bit tired after that match, but somehow he's got a great attitude. He's very positive. He's very, don't listen, non-Italian, may I say, because he's focused the whole time, every point. But at the same time, he's taking the good with the bad, because there was a lot of bad that happened in that match against Gael Monfils. Somehow he picked himself up the floor, and that's what the greatest players do in the Grand Slams. They know that they're not going to play great for 5 sets or 4 sets or 3 sets, but they go in and out, and they're waves. And I think that's what somebody like Rafa Nadal, that's why he's unbeatable, I think, in these last 2 matches, because he doesn't expect to play great the whole time. He's going to take the good with the bad. Berrettini, from the young guys, to me, is the one that has the most surprising positive attitude. Daniil Medvedev is different. Grigor Dimitrov has a better attitude now. But Berrettini, there's something refreshing about him being there. And I actually think this day, because it's heavy and it's cold, this might be his only chance.
It's now time to hear from Carlos Moya, because we had a chat to him, and here are his thoughts about this matchup.
Rafa no se ha enfrentado con él todavía nunca, es un jugador que este es el primer año realmente que está luchando por hacer las rondas finales, y un jugador al que respetamos, juega bastante agresivo.
Saying that he's very impressed with the way that Berrettini has made his way through. They've never played, but Rafa will certainly not be underestimating him.
Sabemos que va a ser un partido difícil, pero bueno, contamos con la experiencia de Rafa en estas
Not
situaciones.
going to be an easy match.
Que no es fácil de controlar, y Rafa en ese aspecto pues ha demostrado tantas veces que aguanta bien la presión, y bueno, habrá que ver qué pasa mañana, pero seguro que va a ser un partido bonito.
He's bound to be really well prepared.
Team Nadal, they never underestimate anybody who Rafa Nadal is facing. Now, what does Berrettini bring to the table? How do you think he has a chance to beat Rafa Nadal today?
Well, I think if you look at Berrettini, we just saw the statistics, 0 hardcourt matches win on this season until the US Open. Where I really got caught by surprise by Berrettini was grass. He played really well in Stuttgart, he played very well in Halle, and he played well at Wimbledon.
Not so well against Federer.
No, but
against Federer,
but yeah,
all in all, yeah.
But
good season.
He won a lot of matches on grass, and I would have bet any amount of money that he's not going to do that. There are 2 Berrettinis, in my opinion. One early in the year, and then he has improved. So he has a lot of confidence, he's playing well. However, in this tournament, he has played many more hours than Rafa.
Yeah, physically.
So physically, but mentally as well. He has faced 44 break points in his matches. Rafa faced only 16. So mentally, Rafa is fresher as well.
Pat, your thoughts on
Look,
Berrettini?
he's got a fantastic serve, Berrettini. He's a fantastic serve, fantastic forehand. He really has nothing to lose, does he? And he has to go out and attack. We saw Rafa come unstuck a little bit against Schwartzman, who really started to step in and use that backhand across court. I think that's probably Berrettini's weaker side, the backhand, but he's got a lot of power. He's a big guy. He's not afraid to go to the net. He's not super comfortable near the net. But, you know, why not go out there and swing away? He's got to serve well, of course.
I think, Pat, his serve is going to be the key today. He has a lot of power. He's not the greatest mover, so he has to use his power, which is difficult against Rafa. But if you look at his serve statistics, from the 4 semi-finalists, he wins the least points on the second serve. And his first serve percentage points, serves in, is not that high. So that has to go higher. He wins high percentage of first serves in, but he needs to put more first serves in to capitalize on that.
Mats, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with the boys?
I agree with, of course I agree with them, but I thought I have to look at Rafa, because this is a situation, and I know he did it a few years ago here when he beat Kevin Anderson in the final, and he beat Del Potro, I believe, in the semifinals. So the pressure was on, but I mean, I can only speak for an experience once or twice in my career. When you feel like you're the favorite, I'm not sure if Rafa knows exactly how am I going to try and approach this match. Am I going to try and kick basically Berrettini's butt by playing big tennis, or am I going to rely on playing a little more defensively, like I think he did against Diego Schwartzman, where he pulled back a little bit and went, okay, well, this is going to be a match where I have to run. I think I'm going to win anyway, so I'm going to just play sort of defensively. Does he do that against Berrettini, and does he keep doing that? is that going to be enough against Berrettini and Medvedev and Dimitrov? Or does he go out and maybe risk a little bit, knowing that if I risk some, I might play bad for a set or two? That's interesting to me to see.
But then, you know, it's a Grand Slam. Over 5 sets, Nadal is hard to beat.
Very.
But the thing about Rafa is he recognizes the situation and he can change his strategies very quickly.
Yeah.
All right, let's look ahead for the first semifinals coming up. Daniil Medvedev against Grigor Dimitrov. Now, Daniil Medvedev, he had his ups and downs on the court, and today he had to face the top spin quiz from Eurosport.
I'm Daniil Medvedev. Let's take the quiz. I would say it's Piolin, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I was right. Nice. I would say lean because the court looks more like these days. Okay, I'm right. Yeah. I would say Tyriak because he likes to say some things like this. Yeah, I'm good at it. I think it was Rublev because I remember he made a song. Yeah, I got it right, huh? Everybody wanna take your power away. Couple billion in a worldwide world. Find another one to see them else to be. I remember this one. Everybody was laughing at him. I think he was like 16 years old. It was amazing.
Heavy metal though.
Daniil Medvedev, quite an interesting fellow. Pat, have you been watching, you know, what's been happening throughout the tournament here in his matches? It was quite entertaining, wasn't it, sometimes?
In Medvedev's matches?
Yes.
I thought he was talking about Rublev for a second, because I know he loves heavy metal. Iron Maiden is one of his favourite bands. I got him backstage to see the guys a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
a boy pop band. I'm embarrassed for him. Yeah, Medvedev, you know what? I like this guy because he's angry. He's angry. He's got some spirit about him.
No wonder. He's
Shut up!
Are you angry? No.
No, but he is. He's fired up. He's got a determination. He's incredibly quick. He doesn't look like he's much of an athlete because he's tall and skinny, but boy, can he move. He's got a good serve, very good, very great ground strokes. Backhand is, flat, but it works. His technique on his volleys is not great, but he's a great athlete, so he gets into the right position. And he competes, you know. And I don't mind him getting out there and giving the New York crowd a hard time. You know, I love that. I actually loved it. I thought, what? That's a great effort. Wish I thought of that. You know, I won because of you. You remember that when you go to bed. I thought that was one of the best comments I'd ever said. They went, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to play another match in New York. But I like the way. I like
He's going to play another 15 years in New York.
Yeah, exactly. So, he's not going to have too many fans, but you get fans when you win tennis matches, and I like his spirit.
Ivan, you were hurt, considered sometimes a little bit of a bad guy out there. Can you just, if you look at Daniil Medvedev, can you sometimes turn that negative experience you have maybe with the crowd or something into positive things? Have you done that maybe? Or?
I think all the top players can do that.
Yeah.
If they're rooting for me, I don't want to let them down. If they're rooting against me, I want to show them. But what I really like about Medvedev's movement is not only he's 6'6" and moves well side to side, but he also changes his court position depending on the quality of his shot. So he can be stuck way back, hit a good shot, and all of a sudden he's on the baseline ready to take advantage of a weaker shot coming against him. The only other player who I can think is doing it as well is Roger. Most of the guys just move kind of on the baseline and they don't move up and down depending on the quality of their shots. He's great at it.
He's full of confidence, Daniil Medvedev. Do you see him going into this match against Dimitrov as a favorite because of that?
I do
also,
see
considering
him.
how many matches he's played in the American summer.
Well, for that reason, maybe not. But I mean, I do see
because he's played too much.
Maybe played. That's the only thing. Physically, I'm not sure if he's going to be. Does he have to be 100%? First of all, but I think mentally, I see him as the favorite because I think he's he's more mature. Even though Grigor has been there before, I feel like Medvedev is ready. He's more mature on the court. I'm not sure he's able to turn the match into just me and you, and let's go at it. I don't care how long it takes.
Ivan and Pat, it's time for Mats and Stats now. You better
Technology
listen to what Mats has to say. This is really important.
So we haven't really talked about it, but the serve of Medvedev, see if the technology works. So the serve of Medvedev is very different from other servers. He has no idea where he throws the ball, we think, in the serve, but he can hit all the different serves. So is it technically a good serve? Yes, pretty good for a big guy. But I want to show you something that's very interesting. So his toss is everywhere. I would like to hear you guys talk. But he can hit both serves with the toss all over the place. I like to ask Ivan and Pat, do you think he does that intentionally? Or does he just throw it up, run after it, and just hit it? Is it hard to read?
For this wide serve, he definitely throws it further in front. So that's what he feels he can do. For the wide serve on the other side, the juice court, definitely throws it further in front. So I think it probably is a tactic.
Is it harder to read, Ivan, when the toss is all over the place?
It's impossible to read because if you see the toss going to the right, you expect the serve to right-hander's forehand, but he's serving both corners with that. So you really don't know what to expect. But on the serve with him, the last match he had 12 or 13 double faults, and 3 times they came in streaks. He's doubled twice 2 in a row and once 3 in a row. So I think the key of the match will be who the second serve double faults may be very interesting because Grigor has a tendency to double as well.
He does, yeah. And the precision is not bad. I mean, he hits, this is about half a meter maybe from the sidelines. So he's very good at hitting his spots. He hits the serve pretty hard. To me, the serve is what has changed him as a player. It's a serious weapon, and I never realized that it was going to be such a big weapon. So I think the serve's going to make the difference today.
Daniil Medvedev certainly improved that serve out of sight. Ivan, you need to work on your rotation here. It looked a bit stiff the way you turned around there.
I need a chair which turns with me.
We'll get that one for you next time. Okay, so Daniil Medvedev will face a Grigor Dimitrov next in the semifinals today. Remember, Grigor Dimitrov was the one who knocked out Roger Federer, and here are some of his thoughts right after the match.
It was an amazing win. Federer may not have been at 100% physically, but Dimitrov really laid it down after a difficult start. Remember, he'd never beaten Federer in 7 previous meetings. His form coming into it had been rank. He'd won 1 of his last 8 matches, but he turned it around here spectacularly well.
You know, I don't want to sound too humble, but it was just another match for me, really. I don't want to say I had nothing to lose because I felt I did.
Well, he was 2 sets to 1 down, but then just the right cocktail. Patience and some terrific shot making. Federer fought as hard as he could, but in the end he was undone. And here's how it finished. 6-2 in the 5th set. His assessment?
I was more present, to be honest. I was more of myself throughout every point, every game that I played.
Grigor Dimitrov through to his 3rd Grand Slam semi-final. He's yet to win one.
But I want to see that when he's serving.
And this is where the action will be happening. Arthur Ashe Stadium. The boys are still chatting while I am talking to you back at home. So Grigor Dimitrov, we always knew that he had it, you know, that he could win maybe a Grand Slam, but I don't know, it never happened. But it seems like now he's come to a point where he really took that extra step, especially with beating Roger Federer.
I'm not sure if it's just, if I'm seeing from Grigor Dimitrov what I would like to see or what I haven't seen before, but to me it seems that he's playing a little bit closer to the baseline. He's not going for full shots as often anymore, so not making any mistakes. He moves so well, he's so flexible, he's so quick, that I feel like he's basically playing like Novak Djokovic, except with a one-handed backhand, just staying there, and he's playing ping pong back and forth, and you can't get him away from the baseline. He's again he can now use the slice, and I think it becomes more natural for him to hit the right shot because of time constraints. I felt in the past, he's tried to play defense, and then he's trying to play offense, and he never got the equation right. Now, he's just using his physicality, and I don't think he has to go for big serves to feel like he can win rallies. So
will he make it a physical battle out there today?
He should.
Well, I mean, I think there is a question mark about Medvedev's fitness, so and it will be a physical match. That's what Medvedev loves to do. He loves to get in these matches. I mean, he's a machine, and he could go all day. But you know, if you have an injury, you know, I think that the impressive thing for me is Medvedev has always been his weakness on his backhand side, and that's held up. He hasn't had a good season at all. I mean, let's face it. He's had a great tournament here, and he's been hitting that backhand return and the backhand really well. Typically, you go there 3 or 4 times, you get a short ball, and then he starts doing all the running. I mean, he's good enough to chase everything down, but you'll get a short ball on that backhand side that you know you can do with what you want. But this tournament, he's hitting it really, really well and really deep. So that gives him, as you said, an extra opportunity to stay in the rally or to go pull the trigger and go for the big winner.
Ivan, what's going to happen out there? What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to come to serving. So far, from the 4 semifinals left, Grigor has the best statistics serving. However, we know that Grigor also gets a little tight and has trouble finishing matches. If you think of tour finals against Jack Sock, he had trouble finishing that. Medvedev serving will also be put to test, and I think the guy who serves better is going to win.
Who do you think is going to win, and why? I know I put you on the spot, you don't like that, but I gotta.
I actually think that Dimitrov is going to win. And
why?
I'm saying why, because I think he's going to wear Medvedev, I mean wear him down, because I'm not sure Medvedev physically is 100%. And if he's not 100%, I feel like Dimitrov, there's something different about Dimitrov right now that I have never seen with him.
And he's here without a coach. Agassi's not here, Stepanek is not here.
There's a bit
it's
of
pretty
both.
Amazing.
There's a bit of both happening. He's close to the baseline like Agassi, but he's mixing the shots up like Radek Stepanek did, and I like the combination right now.
It seems like he's really matured over the last year. Your thoughts? What's going to happen out there?
You know, I don't really know. It's going to be tight.
No. We all don't know.
You know, I know we're guessing. I'm going to go the other way. I'm thinking there's just too many question marks about Dimitrov's up and down. You know, he can go off, his forehand can go off, his backhand can go off, he can serve double faults. Medvedev, if he's feeling fit, he's just going to be there all day. He's going to be there for 5 hours just grinding it out and making you play. And I think in a semi-final, where both guys are nervous, I think he'll hang in there. But that sore leg is a big question mark.
I know. We will find out in the first few games. As you can see, the players are already walking out. Grigor Dimitrov is the first one. It's absolutely packed here in Arthur Ashe Stadium, and it's always interesting to see when Medvedev steps out there how the crowd will react. Are they going to be for him? We will find out in another probably epic match here in the semifinals of the US Open. Enjoy it.
I think the past 6-7 months have been pretty rough for me. I kept on believing again in the work and the rehab that I had to put behind my shoulder. You know, next thing you know, you're almost end of the year and you have a result like that. It's pretty special to me.
I am surprised. That's what I've been working for all my life, and especially the last 2.5 years. That's where I've been going step by step. I was improving my rankings, but I'm still really surprised with the way this last 4 weeks have been going.
Been having a great summer, a lot of confidence building up, winning Cincinnati, being already here, a lot of good matches, a lot behind him.
I'm really happy for Grigor that he's coming back to his shape, maybe. He was playing unbelievable this week, and we all know what he's capable of when he's playing like he can.
It's not going to be an easy match.